All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Be a Viking podcast. Today, we're going to do the intros a little differently because I messed up on the audio of the first episode. So, that includes their intros. So, let me introduce them. This is Miss Trinity. This is Miss Erica. And this is Mr. PG. Now, let's get into the episodes. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Hope y'all enjoy it. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll holler at y'all. Appreciate you. I heard somebody say something along the lines of, yes, women, and I'm not going to speak on women in general because I'm not going to count. I don't care about women in general. Let me correct that. I'm not saying I don't care about as far as they human rights or real being. I don't focus on women in general. I focused on black women. Mm-hmm. So black women are more educated than black men.
Yes.
I heard somebody say something along the lines of, that's because black women are willing to take less risk. One, that's one of the points they brought up, because it's more of the like traditional path than, let's say, jumping out on, I'm gonna do whatever by myself. So that was like, for one, women are less likely to take the risk. Like they, just like in a relationship, they seek their security, so they go take the more secure path,
which is education.
Yeah, like finishing high school, going to college, get a degree, get a job.
Actually, it's kind of different for a lot of black families because that's not the reality. You might be the first black woman to go to school in your family. You might be the first person in your family to go to school.
Right.
I think it's more about ambition.
Okay, so this the question, because I think, yes, you're right. A lot of black women might be the first or the most successful in their educational goals or whatever. But if more black women are educated more than black men, that same phenomenon is even rarer in a black man's life. Like, as far as if, let's say, out of 100 black women, for example purposes, 20 of them might be the first to X, Y, and Z college. Out of 100 black men, it's probably 3. You see what I'm saying? So it's more of a, oh my God, you broke the generational curse for the black man. You see what I'm saying? So you said ambition. I can't agree to that, because even though black women are more educated, ambition-wise, black women don't outdo black men. Even if the black man work a shitty job 16 hours a day, he go get up every day and work this shitty job to take care of his family. Well, it's more likely with a woman that even if she got a less shitty job, let's say his job 9 out of 10 shitty, her job might be 7 out of 10 shitty, she still will be more likely to quit or leave her job versus him, because he got the responsibility of, I gotta take care of the family.
I don't think there's so much as ambition out of as it is necessity. Men feel like it's more necessary for them to stay in positions like that longer. Women, especially in my experience, if you're doing it for ambition, then you kind of don't even want to get in a position where you have to share that with somebody right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, men, when it comes to men and women being together, and one is educated and the other's educated, and they might have the same ambition or whatever, I see that a lot of men are more apt to stay in situations where they don't want to stay in, versus if a woman goes and educates herself or gets educated, she's gonna break boundaries that are a lot bigger for her.
Okay. This is another thing I heard. Paul, you answer this one, because this one touched directly on black men. The other perspective I heard of why black women are more educated than black men is because the way that education, the institution of education, is given to us is more conducive for a woman than it is a man. Meaning, if in the educational system, you have the type of structure where it's like you in the classroom, you sit down for this many hours, you walk straight here, do this for this many hours. Let's say, boy, like I can use my nephew too, my niece too. My niece and my nephew are two totally different people. He's smart as hell. We can teach him and learn too. We have to teach him different than we teach her. We can sit down with her and just talk. And it just be boring and we just talking and she like, yeah, I get it. With him, we gotta teach in a way where we interacting and doing something. Yeah, like we gotta push him in the water and you see what I'm saying?
Do you think that's because y'all are men and she's a girl?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So since the way the institution of education is set up is more conducive for women to be comfortable in it than a man sitting down and operate by another man's system that he got no say-so in, it might not be conducive to the way he thrives versus a woman. And people throw this word around all the time. So if I had time, I explained it because I don't mean it in no degenerate way. But since a woman is by nature more submissive, even if this is a system that she would prefer to probably do it a different way, she can adapt to it in a way where it's like, I can still get down with it. Versus a dude looking at it like, the dude look at it like, if this is a system I don't like, I want to change it. Like, I don't want to conform to it. I want to break the system, make the shit my own, reconstruct it myself. You see what I'm saying? So if a dude in the system he don't like, he don't say, fuck it, I'm out. I'm going to make my own system. If a woman in the system she don't like, she easier to adapt to it.
I think that speaks to her bandwidth and her being able to face challenges a little bit better. If she's adapting
because I think the men face just as many challenges because it's more challenging to say fuck that and go do my own thing. That's more of a challenge.
I disagree. It's easy to say I don't give up.
Nah, it's not saying he just gonna give up in life. He gonna leave the school and create some shit on his own. That's harder than staying in the school.
And that does take a lot of gumption. I agree with that.
I was gonna say, and that's why men go to do wrong. That's what I was saying. Like sometimes people do wrong for a right reason. They're like,
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Because y'all said something about drug dealers. All right, boom. Say, like, I ain't in college. I ain't got no other way to make some money. But I know I found the avenue to get some money, which was drug dealing, hypothetically. And then I got my money to a point. Also, while doing it, educate myself. Now I'm finna use this money I got to put it into something that's legal.
Yeah.
Then that's different right there. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes people do stuff like that. It's just about the environment. Everybody not blessed to be brought up in an environment to where they can afford to get this type of education, be in this type of school, do this, do that. Sometimes people got to make the best of what they got and then grow and, do it.
I mean, women, I feel like women are the same. Like, we didn't come from the best environment, but we use the resources that are there. You guys go this way or that way. It's no in between. It's no gray area.
Let me ask you this, Trinity. Is one of the reasons women do go to school more is because the other options is not available to y'all. For example, drug dealer. Can a woman buy some drugs and redistribute it?
Well, I don't think that's the only option. Honestly.
No, I ain't saying it's the only option, but I'm saying let's just use that example since a lot of brothers like saying weed or pills or whatever. All right. So let's say they go to school, they don't like it. If a sister can say, well, if I don't go to school, I probably just get this fast food or warehouse job. This bullshit. I'd just rather stay in school. If a brother looking at it like, nah, I got a little more options. Even if the option's wrong, if he like, nah, I can sell this pack or a sister don't get that option. Can she physically distribute weed or pills?
I know a female drug dealer.
Nah, can they do it? Yes.
I was gonna say,
but that's so unlikely that don't even cross most sisters. That don't even cross most sisters' head.
Why would it cross your mind though?
Women are more mental thinkers. We will think about a way. You guys like action. You're action driven. You have to see the results instantly. We will take time to slowly gravitate a plan knowing, hey, if I stay in school for a year, I'm going to be an RN come 2020, whatever.
I can take that.
We're thinking long term in terms of what our plan is, but men are so action driven. And once again, you guys have to be stimulated all the time to where you have to see something quick. That's why men like quick money. That's why men gravitate towards drug dealing, whatever. You can see the money, you can count it, you can see your profit, you can see your your consumption, whatever. So I think that's really the biggest thing.
But girls need it though. Y'all want it.
I was just finna say,
we take all day. If I tell you, all right, say we together in high school, and I be like, all right, when we graduate, I'm gonna do this, do that, and then I'm gonna get rich.
But I come to you popping it.
But he come to you, man. What
popping.
you need? Nails done, hair did, makeup.
Sure,
Every
you gonna get with me.
You finna go to hell.
Sure.
Okay, we're
you
not
gonna
talking
get
about
with me.
relation right now, though. We're talking about you guys' personal life.
Nah, that's
And you achieving
like,
your goals. You guys are action driven in that sense, where you can't sit in school for a year and say, "Hey, in here I'll be in a different situation."
nah, I think
Exactly. And
that
that's why I was saying what you were saying kind of discounts a woman's strength, because
What?
to say that I'm going to go this avenue, even though it's not showing me results right away, that takes a lot more strength
It
than
do,
to say,
it
I'm going to
do.
go ahead and do this.
They do.
And I'm not saying, first of all, let's make it very clear. You don't have to go to college to be successful.
Right.
You cannot go to college and find other ways outside of drug dealing even that will make you successful.
Facts.
That does not make you more smart than another person if you go to college. But it definitely does show tenacity and strength on
Facts.
women for them to choose that path, especially realize I think a lot of Black women go to college to avoid perpetuating trauma. They don't want to keep what has been going on in their house. So that's another level to the strength.
Different in that sense, because you
Let me-
gravitate towards what you know and what you're used to.
Let me
Exactly.
ask y'all
And that's
this.
very easy
I
to state.
feel like y'all in college, so I'm sure y'all professors told y'all this. I forgot the actual number. Ain't it's like only 30% of people who graduate with a degree get a job in their field?
I know for my school, the rate is like 35%.
Okay, so and I'm not discrediting or discouraging anybody. Like, go get that degree, do your thing. But I'm saying, does that necessarily make the woman like have more tenacity to achieve her goals?
Do you understand how hard school is?
Nah, don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting school at all, goddamn. I'm not discrediting school at all. I didn't go to college. I went to Southwest when I was in high school, like just to take that one class. I did not like this shit. So don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting college at all. What I'm saying is though, I think is back to what we were saying about just the feminine nature versus the masculine nature. I think it's more in the feminine nature to go along with the process that currently exists and adapt to that, because college is not necessarily a success route. It's actually a fail route. If 70% of people not fail, like they get that degree or whatever.
Or drop out.
Actually, I was going to say, it's way a higher percentage than that, because that's not counting the people that don't make it to the graduation or get that degree. That's only counting the people that got that degree.
I mean, there's the retention rate too that you got to account for.
Yeah, so if we factor that in, college really the failure trap for most people. So
I think it's how you look at it.
No, I'm saying this the numbers. Like this ain't me.
The numbers are there.
It was only 30%. True.
So is the degree. In the economy we live in the environment, the world, you have to have a degree to survive.
But then,
or else you will resort to illegal activity to survive within this era of life.
Then that's what I say.
Drive is amazing. You guys drive, your work ethic, it's there. But you have to utilize that in other aspects of life to succeed and to elevate. And women go about that with school. Yes, you guys may go and do it your own way, but you could do it a little differently.
No, hold on. I got some. Full circle moment. Y'all remember? I'm just restating it because y'all ain't gonna see the clip. Yeah. Y'all remember what we were saying? Should you do something for the communal good and look at life through that lens? Look, full circle moment. Should you look at life through a communal good lens, or should you look at life through a individual lens?
And we're talking about college.
Yeah, look, I'm going to bring it back to that.
Community, I'll take you to school with me. Come on.
Nah, look, check this out. We're using me, for example. The reason I was infatuated with scamming or selling drugs or toting a gun or gangbanging is because that's the being with power I see around me. When I was exposed to how to achieve power in a different way, mindset shift. Cool. So I would say to persuade young brothers to not go down the criminal path, they have to be exposed to different knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a communal good on us as brothers.
But that's what school does too.
Hell nah.
Absolutely. The networking, the career
hell, that's in college. Most you need. I got 3 homies that got expelled before that senior year.
Man, if you utilize those resources in high school, talk to the guidance counselor.
I was just going to say that y'all teach counselor for a reason.
I'm gonna keep it a book, y'all. Look, I'm gonna keep it a book. This not me making no excuse for folks. Like this real talk. If you don't got nobody in your ear saying what y'all saying, Nobody is just gonna wake up out the bed and say, let me go talk to the guidance counselor to try to see if she got any advice to get out the current predicament I'm in or the direction I'm headed. I get what y'all saying. Y'all are right. But a brother not just gonna do that on his own.
Yeah, but even outside of the guidance counselor, we're just talking about using the resources available to you. Right. A lot of young men choose not to do that. They come to school, they don't pay attention, they go right home.
Exactly. I'm keeping the book. What resources? I'm finna say, what resources are available to a person?
School is a resource. You have a library.
To a person,
more than just school, though.
To a person who don't know those resources, like I said, the guidance counselor is a resource.
Mm-hmm. Your teachers.
If the brother don't know he can go to the guidance counselor for that, he won't do it. And I say this, for example.
But you know to go to the hood with JJ now.
Right. Why though?
Why?
Because the whole time I've been growing up, I'm seeing big bro, big cuz go to JJ now. Mm-hmm. So I know when I get around big bro, big cuz them age, go to JJ. Why? Because I seen it. If I haven't seen nobody in this school, if I stay in the churches, I got this group of friends because we grew up in the neighborhood together. I didn't pick these friends. They didn't pick me. We didn't pick to live in this neighborhood. We just started riding the bus together because all of us lived in the same neighborhood. We became friends through association. Man, we hang with them in school. None of them going to the guidance counselor. You know what we doing? We shooting dice in the bathroom. I'm not even seeing little Erica over there walk to the guidance counselor office. So it's not even popping up in my mind. Why she going to the guidance counselor office? I'm in the bathroom shooting dice. So even though we're in the same environment, our experience is totally different. So I done graduated this whole year not knowing, not even seeing Erica and Trinity walk to the guidance counselor office. So that's what I'm saying. It's not that the brother is choosing to do X, Y, Z. The brother not exposed to it. Just like I wasn't choosing to be infatuated with trying to be a gang member or whatever. That's just what I was exposed to.
So how can we expose you guys to something else? Because then it's like at the end of this conversation, it's like, well, oppression.
Nah, so
that's
like, why.
When do you take accountability?
Okay.
When do you utilize your resources?
Okay.
And when do you make a difference within your life?
You can utilize your resources. I say like, okay, don't they teach like
even your mom and dad,
college.
I mean, Germantown, they had a baby ass economics course, but it wasn't about shit. I didn't learn shit from it.
This is what I'm saying. Can you say how you can help? I say if you going to school and you know a lot about being like an entrepreneur or business or anything like that. The same sense, if I was a drug dealer, I know the same thing about entrepreneurship and business. So I can use my knowledge that I gained physically doing this shit illegally, and then you can help me. You can be like, oh, you already know how to do this. You can take what you know from doing that and apply this in a legal way.
I think she was saying, how do we introduce it to the youth?
Yeah.
So this what I say. This why I say I will bring it back full circle and ask, should we focus on communal good or individual good?
Before we go to that question, though, I think the solution to your thing is, men, Black people need to be exposed more to the arts. They need to be exposed more to creative outlets in school, because if you have those outlets, you're going to be less prone to go off and try to be in a gang. Or if you feel like you're part of a community, you're part of a club, you're doing something. And I'm not saying always sports, because a lot of men get caught in that trap. Yeah. Sports is not always the way out, and you're probably not going to make it to the NBA or the NFL. But I think creative outlets are such an essential piece to the education system that we don't have. Yeah. So that's why you got a lot of people thrown in these areas like, I don't know, Kingsbury or what, I don't even know, Sheffield, like a lot of these schools out here, they don't have the resources that they need to even create these type of people. So it really doesn't fall so much on if you see somebody else going to do it. It's like, sometimes you really are just a product of your environment. But once you get out of that environment, you don't have to look at college the same way. You know, you could say, well, maybe I could try this a different way. Or you can do what you want to do and, you know, not take that route.
And also be receptive. Like, once you are introduced to something different, explore that. Because I know, like YNs, like we like to say, once you guys see someone, like you were saying about your suit, like at first you saw someone in a suit, like, oh, he's a hoe. But it's like, no, ask him, hey, where you get your suit from? What can you tell me?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm keeping it a book. I'm gonna keep it a book. And this from somebody that's seen the person in the suit as a whole. I would never go up to him and ask him that I think you a hoe. It's nothing you can offer me.
Do you
Nothing.
think it's jealousy a little bit?
Nah, it wasn't jealousy.
It's just like
it was just like
Something he had never seen.
Yeah, that was just their perception. I know nothing but real niggas. I'm around wolves and sharks. I know nothing but straight. I'm trying not to cuss. I know nothing but people that's like the most manliest men you can name. You see what I'm saying?
So a suit took away from his manhood to you.
But listen,
Not even. I didn't even know that initially. Not to cut you off, Paul, but I didn't even think that initially. I'm just like everybody. I know all the wolves. I know all the sharks. I know nobody wear no suit. So if I see another grown man in a suit,
You think he's soft?
yeah, because I'm looking at the wolves. I'm looking at what real men. I see what they were on a daily basis. None of them were this. So if they the realest you can be, you look opposite of them. You must be opposite of them. That's the thought process and the key in mind. So if I see the dude in a suit, I'm not coming up to you asking you no type of advice, questions, or nothing. I'm walking the opposite way because I think you the opposite of what I want to be. I want to be the most manliest man on earth. I think you bitch. So if bitch in this direction, I'm going the opposite direction. So that's why I was bringing it back full circle and saying, like, is the communal good or the individual good better? Because if we say the individual good better, brothers like myself now they got a different perspective on life. I say, bam, I made it out. Bam, straight. If we say the communal good better, I go back in that environment. Even though this environment is not the safest, not the cleanest, not the most productive, I go back in this environment and say, each one teach one. How can I grab another young brother and say, it ain't no bitch in me, but I got a suit on. How can I change the thought process in your mind too? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Now, I just want to fuck with Erica, y'all, so I'm finna pull this out. So since you were saying the communal good and wardrobe is not necessary, but the communal good and this would be necessary, does that, I probably know the answer, but I gotta try. Does that change your mindset on the wardrobe communal good?
No, it's
shit. I tried.
But I completely get what you're saying with this. Completely.
Okay.
I can agree with you on that. But I will also say that you don't have to feel like the superhero and go back in that environment if you know that you're not strong enough to withstand it. Or you know that it was like something that was too traumatic to you.
Yeah.
You don't always have to go back and be superhero. You can influence the people in your family and your friends. You can still be a community leader without going back to the hood.
That's a fact.
But it's great. Go back to the hood, do what you can do. Like Dolph did that stuff. It was great. Do that type, or was it Gotti?
Both of them
doing that type of stuff. Great, get back to the hood, but actually do it in ways that really make a difference. Not so much of maybe a better, okay, lunch matters, but let's think about what these people really need when it come down to it, which is a support system.
Now, I done had these folks here for 18 hours, y'all, so we're gonna go and wrap it up. If you can't see it on my face, I'm still disappointed. About it was so good because y'all don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah, it was still good, but the other one was like, if this was a 10 out of 10, the other one was like 100 out of 10, bro.
A real debate.
Like everybody just giving their different perspectives on it, agreeing with each other. I mean, disagreeing with each other, agreeing with each other, still being respectful, bringing up different points, different analogies. Damn, but look. We're going to go and wrap it up, y'all.
Okay. I'm Trinity. You can find me at Trinity Cartier on Instagram. Thanks.
I'm PG. You can find me at PG the Criminal at Instagram.
PG the Criminal said he won't shoot the gun. Wait, they gonna get into it.
Wait, you said criminal or criminal?
The criminal.
Oh, no.
Criminal.
Oh,
bro, you ain't making it better.
He's not making it better.
You are not a YN. Instagram.
My name is Ari. You can find me at AARI77_ on Instagram.
With that being said, y'all, we're gonna wrap this episode up with the W Viking Podcast. I appreciate y'all. Y'all tap in. We're on the next episode. Damn.